I'm the Hooded Lid and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about getting out of our rut, especially when it comes to eyeshadow. I have a tendency to be attracted to the same colors over and over and over again. And I have several palettes that express that interest. So it's not that I'm doing just one palette over and over again. It's like, oh, I'll take this palette today. It's got the same colors as the other palette does. And I have palettes with a variety of colors, but I'm attracted to things with those blush tones, pinky tones, peachy tones, because I think they're flattering to my skin tone, and I have hazel eyes. I think that these bring out the greenness in my hazel. But I wanted to play with color and get outside my box. And I think that it's something everybody should do. Maybe you do it on a weekend when you know you're not going out, or when you know you don't care. I sometimes play with makeup like this at the end of the day before I wash my face off. I might just kind of get the urge, get my brushes out, get a palette out that I haven't been paying attention to, and have a little fun. So going through colors that I'm not using, I hit on the primaries. Blue looks horrible on me. I've tried. I just stay away from palettes with blue in them now. I give up. Red. I like reds. Reds are very hard to do pigment-wise. The only red I tried recently was from the Huda Gems palettes, the little, those little mini palettes. And after 40 minutes, the red just kind of fell away. So I returned that. But I have some reds in the ABH. They're kind of, more berry reds, but I enjoy those. Greens. Greens are really, they're a lot like blues for me. I love the colors blue and green. I have a lot of blue in my wardrobe, but for eyeshadows, blue and green, they're really, really challenging for me. And when I'm first stepping out of the box, I don't want to be challenged that much right out the gate, so I thought I'd do some yellow. Now it's beginning to get hot, so hair is going to go up. So I'm going to work today with 3 palettes. This is the Huda Coral palette, and it has a yellow in it and some corals, which, coral's close enough. Coral I think of as a mix of pink and, what do I think of it as? Pink and orange? I guess so. Coral is close enough to pink for me to be a-okay with it. And then I have a couple of palettes that I made myself. This one's kind of pinks and mauves, of course. Why not? And this one, kind of earthy things. And I'm going to dip into these yellows as well. I do have some greens in here. And I do think green and yellow really work well together. But for me, it's more of a fall situation. I always wanted that ABH palette that everybody hated. The one that was kind of falling apart. Because it had beautiful greens and yellows in it. So first thing I'm going to do is recede my hood. I'm going to take this quite neutral mauve tone. I've already powdered my lids, so here's hoping it'll help. Now this would be, I think, a good place for me to talk to you about my eyes. You may have guessed that I'm old, and my eyelids are slightly crepey, and it's can make blending very difficult. But wait, there's more. I also have a lot of issues going on with this eye, and I'm just talking about, from the upper lash line up. I'm not even talking about all this stuff going on underneath the eyes. This eye has sun damage right here. It also has a fat pad right here. This is a little fat pad that protrudes a little bit, so sometimes it looks like there's nothing on it. When there is, it's just you can't see it when my eyes are open because it's protruding. When I'm laying it down, like, oh yeah, everything's fine because the eye is shut, the brow is lifted, and it's rather flat. but in the eyes open, it doesn't look like it's there. And then my eye look doesn't look like it's even in comparison to this eye. I also have some actual darkness, skin damage on both eyes right here, but I have a major fatness right here, and then right here it's just bone. And this fatness, I think, kind of causes darkness here beyond the darkness of the skin. So even though I have done a little bit of a priming in the area, there still is a dark look. So I think that's 101 my eyes. In other words, as careful as I may be, there's no way I'm going to get a look that is just really specific and really Instagram or even really YouTube. It's just my eyes. And I think we should all, I'm taking the yellow from the Huda. I think we should all worry about the eyes that we have instead of the eyes that we want. Or the face that we have instead of the face that we want. I'm just kind of buffing this in because I've noticed if you swipe it, you're not going to get very much pigment. So I'm going to get this kind of high up, but in a very transparent way, because the only way you'll know that I have yellow on my eyelid is if you can see it on the hood. The area of my lid that is available to be seen is really the inner third. So I'll kind of pack that in there, most likely. I guess I forgot to mention, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. I'm flying by the seat of the pants. I'm pretending that this is just playtime before I wash my face. This Huda is kind of powdery, so you probably want to kick some off before you bring it to your face if you already have your foundation on. If I have my mirror over here, it blocks one of my lights. If I have it over here, it also gives a shadow. So I try to do it here, but I still want you to see what I'm doing. So it's a little tricky. And then I'm going to brush some of this off. I'm going to take it all the way up, just so we have, and we can see that there's yellow going on here. So I've already determined green's not going to do it because it's summertime. I want to do something summery. And I do have some pinks and corals right here. And I think when you are trying to get outside your box, one way to kind of ease that transition is to use colors that you're already familiar with, you already love, just to kind of help get you there. So I'm going to use some pink. There's a coral color here that will help that segue for me. It's pretty intense, so I'm going to, dab some of that off on a towel that I have right here. And kind of go into my so-called crease. Very lightly. I'd rather build this than go full out. So I might be here for a while, just because it's incredibly pigmented. And I also have no idea yet what I'm doing. And then I look straight ahead to see that that pink is seen when my eyes are open. And it is. And then haze it out a little bit. This is another thing for my kind of hooded eyes, where my hood is lower, heavier at the end, the last third, as opposed to in the center. Kind of take the center of my eye, the highest point, take the line this way, and instead of following the natural curve of the eyeball, I'm going to bring it out. That way I'm not pulling everything down and working against this lid that is pulling everything down, if that makes sense. Okay, just a nice little haze. And the other eye. All right, despite how incredibly careful I was, I found that when I lowered my head like this, what the pink is showing here is quite different than the pink showing here. Probably one of your most important tools is a Q-tip, and I'm just going to wipe some of that away. Okay, I'd say they're looking a little more even when I do this. Then I'll look straight ahead. Needs a little fixing on the straight ahead. I'll go in again very lightly because I already have a color here, that yellow, and I don't want that to go away. In fact, I'm going to take another small brush and dip back into that yellow and see if that helps the situation. It's tricky. I want you to see what I'm doing, and I need to be able to see what I'm doing without casting a shadow on my face. And with the best available light. All right, that's pretty even. Now the next thing I'm going to do is close my eyes. Oftentimes I feel like everything looks even, and when I close my eyes, they're really, really not. For me, when your eyes are open, when you're talking to people, that's what matters most. But you don't want to look stone cold crazy when you're eating something, you're looking down, you just want to not look crazy. So, and here's the fat pad. Do you see how the color just doesn't adhere right there? It's maddening. And that's something I can't really control. I'm going to try. I'm just going to dot it right there. But it's just not sticking. So it looks darker right here, but the fat pad is just not taking that in. And that's when you just have to leave well enough alone. Dust this off, wipe it off, and just blend it out and leave it well enough. When the eyes open, it's fine. It's just when you're looking down, I kind of don't want to look crazy if I can, avoid it. So, I don't know if you can tell, this lid, because it's crepier, because of all the issues, and this lid, they look different, but there's really nothing I can do about it. And this is where leave well enough alone comes in. I'm going to do a final blend that will hopefully help, but I want to put something a little darker on the outer. I think I'm going to take this brown and mix it with a pink so it's kind of a burgundy color. And I'll do that on my hand. So there's the brown. Wipe that off and mix it with the pink. Ooh, it's not burgundy, but that's pretty. Put a little more brown in. There. And I'm going to try to do a little bit of deepening around the outer corner. Not go completely nuts with this because I'm hooded, the outer third darkening situation doesn't necessarily work all that great for me. And the other side. going to take this small one again and dip it into some Laura Mercier translucent powder. This is a trick I do not see very many people doing, but I think blending with the powder is fantastic just for really cleaning up any kind of lines. This eye, of course, really nothing much to do. I feel like it's pretty blended, but I'm going to blend right where these colors kind of come together. Just a little bit. So it looks more like a watercolor. You know how with watercolor the colors sometimes just kind of bleed into each other? Again, specific looks on my kind of lids, and most hooded lids, I think is hard to do and kind of pointless. Even if you are able to, and you have a perfect lid, which I don't have, even if you're able to put together a perfectly symmetrical, specific, beautiful look, the minute you open your eyes, it all transfers. Okay, I think I'm pretty much done with the shadows. This is the time when you look straight forward to see if it's even, lower your head to see if it's even, and close your eyes to see if it's not crazy town, because it's not going to be even if your eyes are anything like mine. And I think I need a little more fun, and I have these two liners from Makeup Forever, and these can be used both on your lips, which is what I do, but you can use them on your eyes too. And I think I'm going to do some inner rim with this kind of orangey, corally, it's a hard color to describe. It's definitely has some orange in it, but I am going to kind of bring it all together and just do my lower waterline. Just for some fun color. That's kind of fun. Then I'll take my Pat McGrath and do my upper. I mean, this actually is transferring to my upper right now, so, and I'm not going to like that look. With the Pat McGrath, I really just kind of work it in between the lashes more than anything. And it helps to make the lashes look thicker. Oh, this fat pad. See this? This is making me absolutely nuts. But you saw, I put pigment there. It just does not want to be there. Okay, a little bit of liner really, I think, perked up the look. And now I'm going to do a little bit of mascara. I have a love-hate relationship with the Kush, which is why I have a small one. I have a couple of these small ones because I just don't know if I want to buy the large one. It makes your lashes look beautiful. I think they look fluffy and fuller and like there's more. I don't have anything else that makes my lashes look like this, but it smudges and flakes and it makes me nuts, but it's not consistent. If it always smudged and flaked, I'd be, no, it's not going to work, but it doesn't always. And also your lashes are really soft, so after you put it on, they feel beautiful. They don't feel stiff like most mascaras. So I'm going to get that going. I just think they look so feathery and very, very close to natural, and they feel natural. I like it, and it matches my shirt, which kind of inspired me in the first place. Is it an aggressively yellow look? No. The pink helped get me there because pink is something I'm comfortable with, but it's fun, it's playful, it's summer. And, you know, we don't have to be incredibly goal-oriented. I got my toe in to yellow, and maybe next time I'll go a little bit deeper. And that's a fun way of looking at it. So that's it for going outside of your box, just a little bit at a time. Kind of temper that going outside of your box with a color that you're familiar with and you like. Do it over the weekend, won't matter so much. Or maybe try it right before you wash your face at night, sit down with some makeup and play a little bit. If it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. And if it does work, it's something you can try during the day. And if it's almost there, maybe the next night you play with it again and see how you can make it better. But the whole idea is get out of your rut a little bit. I think everybody has to have those go-to looks. It might be one look, it might be two looks that you know you can get out the door, you can depend on it, it always works for you. You look put together, you look pretty, and we all have to have that. But we shouldn't get stuck there. We also need to be careful of not getting in a rut. It's one thing to say, well, I know this works for me, and another thing to say, when's the last time I've used another color? Just have fun, play, experiment. That's how we learn about our faces, about our eyes, what our coloring is, what works for us, and it's play. Thank you so much for coming. I hope I might have inspired you. Maybe I entertained you. Maybe you laughed a little bit with me. Maybe you laughed a little bit at me. I hope you come back again. In the meantime, I'm wishing you a great day.